Now time for the week 8 fantasy show. We are chugging through these weeks. It feels like just the other day we drafted our teams, and now we're already coming up to week 8. Season's flying by. Some interesting matchups last week in week 7. Starting with my matchup with Pusa, as Pusa got a big win over me 116 to 90. My team did not show up. Pusa's team did okay, nothing crazy. It was definitely beatable for me if my team would have performed.
Where is this last week?
Huh?
Where is this performance from Pusey's team last week?
Oh, okay. Keep crying, buddy.
I
Buddy,
will
when a team pops off the week before, then they're due for some regression
keep
the following
going.
week. And that's
Almost
what I was expecting from and hoping
Pete, let him
for.
finish, buddy. All right.
Unfortunately, my team also regressed big time and did not have a good week. My running backs did not do that great, besides old man Kareem Hunt looking like 2017 Kareem Hunt with 22 big points. He was the highlight. Big downer. I would have had a chance going into Monday night if Debo Samuel wouldn't have dropped a goose egg with diarrhea. Fucking Debo. They said he was going to play, and then he just didn't even fucking play because of his diarrhea in hospital, which also hurt Purdy and also hurt the rest of my team. And then, of course, Monday night, I get a quick touchdown from Mike Evans, and it looks like I might have a slimmer of hope with Zay Flowers getting injured, but then Mike Evans on his second touchdown catch that he drops, of course, injures his hamstring, and now he's out way longer. So that's not good. Um, so GG's to Pusa, big win for him. We're now both 4-3, both tied in record, so it's going to come down to the wire. Pusa's team is definitely a playoff team at the moment. He is trying to make a trade. I don't see how he's going to, with what he's asking, I don't see how he's going to get that trade done, but I could be wrong. But GG's to him. Moving on to the next matchup, another one that kind of went sideways as one team performed and the other didn't. Pook picks up a big win over Rat in the battle of 4-3 or 4-2s, sending Pook to 5-2 and Rat to 4-3, 125 to 89. Rat's team, similar like mine, did not perform last week very well, as his running backs just did okay. He had one good wide receiver performance. Brock Bowers did his normal thing. But then he also had a 0 from his flex. This two flex, two wide receiver, two running backs with no defense this year has definitely been an interesting thing. There has been a lot more zeros from a lineup from a lot of people's lineups this year, including mine. I've had a 0 almost every week in one of these flex spots or wide receiver spots. So it's definitely highlighting the importance of good play that can get you some consistent points and not zeros, as that really hurt Rat's team. Also, Devontae Smith. What in the hell? He comes back and he only gets 2 targets and zero point 0.8 points for the Eagles, who performed very well. They blew the Giants out, and he just didn't get anything. So that's got to be a bit of a concern. Rat, your comments after, I know you don't want to lose to Pook, one of the most aids when they win, but you fall to Pook this week. Any comments?
Um, GG's to Pook. My team, I'm not worried about my team moving forward. The average is still that tight at 1. Picked up some new players, and I still love taking Smith will rebound. Trust me, he's not gonna have a game where he does -2 yards again. And I apologize to Pook because he actually has a legitimate team, and I think we all shat on him way too early. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Pook had some very good standouts. 23 from Robinson. He's been
Yeah.
looking a lot better. 20 from Jacobs. 21 from Jefferson. So you got solid performances from pretty much all his wide receivers. Flex positions aside Demario Douglas. He did not have a good game. He put Tank Bigsby on the bench, which I was a little surprised when they ruled Etienne out that he played Demario Douglas over Tank Bigsby. But it didn't cost him. It just cost him a bunch more points to add to his points for. But GG's to Pook. Moving on to the next one. This was a bit of a surprise on the week. Ernie continues to fall. He's now dropped 4 straight after starting the season 3-0. Now falls to 3-4. And Matt picks up a monster win for his season to go to 2-5, 105 to 97. I did predict this would be a lower scoring matchup, but I thought Ernie would pull out the dub, and he did not. As it came down to Monday night, and Matt's players performed on Monday night, and Ernie's players did not, as Lad McConkey only got 9.6 points, let him down big time. Juju had a horrible goose egg. There's another goose egg from a flex position, as we were talking about. So not good. Kamara, another bad game. Tank Dell with a goose egg. So Ernie had 2 goose eggs in his lineup, which is why you see the under 100 points for Ernie. On Matt's side, he started Anthony Richardson because Fields was benched. He didn't ever pick up a quarterback, and he got away with it because Richardson was trash once again. Derrick Henry, though, on Monday night came up monster for him with 25 huge points, set the tone for his team. Diggs didn't have that great of a game, but Andrews and Henry on Monday night really killed Ernie to snatch this victory away from Ernie, as it looked like Ernie was going to win for most of the week and most of the night on Monday until both those players popped off. So monster win for Matt, gets him out of that tie for the basement. So GG's to him. Anybody want to make any comments on either Ernie's
I
slide
do.
or Matt? Yes.
It was funny because Ernie was up about 20, 50, like 20-ish, and it was halftime. I went to bed because I was tired.
Yeah,
I woke
me
up
too.
and I was stunned that Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews saved the week for me.
Yeah, Ernie's had some horrible Monday night luck this year. That's like 3 times he's lost on Monday night now.
Can
It's kind
we
of my luck from last year. I turned it off at halftime. I left the party. I wish I wouldn't have because I wish I could have heard Ernie's reaction in the party when both those guys popped off in the second half.
He's probably sleeping.
I don't think so.
Golfer, can we look at that Derrick Henry trade?
Well,
Just
wasn't it Derrick Henry and Amari Cooper? We'll look at it when we get into the
Yes.
trades. I'll scroll
yeah,
down and
that's
see.
a really
But we know it's not a good trade at this point for Pook. Although Bijan has been performing better the last couple weeks, so I'm sure Pook will save face and say, well, look what Bijan's been doing. But I mean, Henry's been a monster ever since he joined Matt's team. So that was a great trade for Matt. That trade right there alone might save Matt from last place this season. Getting Henry and getting Amari Cooper, who he traded away. I don't love the trade that Matt did for Amari Cooper, but I mean, he's got Derrick Henry, and that's really all that matters. And it's been saving him the last couple weeks. So GG's
Oh,
to it. Yep.
Flap says he can't join the Xbox app.
Well,
He
he'll
wants to
have
go
to
on
figure
Discord.
out a different week to stay up, because I don't know what to tell him. I don't understand how you don't try to maybe pre-plan this a little bit ahead of time, since you know this is your one and only week. Anyways, moving on to Zombie and Cheese. Not much Cheese could do as he faced Zombie, who after having a shit week against me the week before, you kind of had an idea that maybe this would be a wake-up week for Zombie's team, and they did. 172 to 123. Huge scoring week for Zombie. Moves to 5-2, so gets off the loss train. Tied now with Cheese at 5-2. That's now 2 straight losses for Cheese, even though his team put up 123. Not horrible. Jaden, although picks up a couple more issues, Jaden Daniels might be out now for a little bit, so it's probably a good thing you didn't trade Kyler Murray because you're probably going to need
Kyler
him.
had a big 20, so it looks like
Oh,
I'm
so
just
now we're
fine.
back on the Kyler
Well, he's
hype
hurt.
train.
He's
Huh?
hurt. I made
Okay,
it
well, the
very
way you
clear
said
that
Kyler had 20, it was like
Golfer,
you're
I
trying
made
to
it
hype
very
him up.
clear that I wouldn't start Kyler until Jane Daniels died,
Okay.
and so he's hurt.
Okay.
So
All right. Montgomery got a little banged up too, but should be okay. But I mean, when these two are combining for 40, that's going to get you at least 120 points. So it was kind of your quarterback let you down, the Devontae Adams let you down.
tough pass
Uh,
defense.
I mean, to beat Zombie, you were going to need big performances from pretty much your whole lineup, and
Yeah,
those guys let you down.
I knew I
Meanwhile,
was fucked when he got like 40 points from the London game alone.
meanwhile, Zombie started Drake May this week. That was a good pickup by him last week, knowing he needed a quarterback with Dak on bye, and he came through with 20 nice points. Brees Hall had a big game. He's looking a little bit better now with the coaching changes. Aaron Jones came back from bye and did his normal thing. Drake London again another good. Only concern with Zombie, I guess, would be Neighbors. He had 8 targets but didn't do shit with them. But the Giants' offense was just horrible against Philly. So GG's to Zombie, big win for him and a good bounce back. And we'll see now. Cheese kind of
I'm not
falling
worried.
closer to the middle of the pack. You're not panicking
Look,
yet.
here's what I'll
Not-
say. Here's
not
what I'll say.
worried yet?
I don't think my team is like the undisputed best team anymore,
Oh, okay,
but I think we're still a solid playoff team.
okay, all right.
And we've been putting up solid numbers. We've just been facing the hot teams the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because I probably would have beat most
Yeah,
other people this week. Outside
As
of
we
a couple.
seen last year with your championship run, you don't want to peak at the beginning of the season. You want to peak at
But
the
I'm not
end of the
okay.
season.
But I'm
So
not
we'll
putting up
see.
bad numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
123 is
But
not a
we'll
bad
see if
number.
you can get back to that
Look,
form of the first 5
at this
weeks at
point,
the end of the year.
At this point, I got my 5 wins. I only need to pick up a couple more to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I just need everybody to be healthy by the time we get there.
Okay. Well, we'll
And if
see
I can get the number 1
get some of
seed, I'll
that.
be very happy. But
All right. Well, we'll see if
You
you
know,
can
I've
get
seen.
all that. Moving on to the next matchup of the week. This one was a little bit of a surprise just from how badly the score was. Bill kind of blows out Zach 127 to 87. Zach falls to 3-4. Another person that got off to a strong start at the beginning of the season, but has kind of been a little bit less of form lately. It seems like Zach has picked up wins against the teams he should, but then loses to the teams that are kind of been putting up more points. So rough for Zach. Bill gets another big win to go to 4-3 and join that group. So good bounce back from Bill. He started Allen this week, which was the correct move over Baker. You gotta figure now,
Well,
although Baker at 27, but you gotta figure now going forward Bill's got to change this Baker's backup name because you got to figure
yeah.
going forward he's going with Josh Allen over Baker
What
Mayfield
happened
now
to Zach's team?
that
Why is it so
no
low?
wide receivers. I mean, he got a huge game from
Oh,
Lemar, but his
everyone else
running
is gonna
back's
have
just a
bad
mid.
weeks.
It
Yeah.
really Zach's team, and when Zach loses, it's because his wide receivers do absolutely nothing. If you look at his losses, his wide receivers do practically nothing. Tyreek Hill, who he's hoping and praying will start to look
Oh,
like his old
Tyreek
self
tweeted.
now.
Tyreek said that he's back. So
Yeah, but we'll see if he's actually with Tua, if Tua can actually play well. Jaden Reed has kind of been inconsistent lately. Kelsey, God knows what you're ever going to get from him. He's the inconsistent king nowadays. Wandell has slowed down a lot. He's still getting the targets, but it's not equating to a lot of points now. And Jamison Williams, I mean, now going to be suspended for 2 games, so that hurts Zach a lot. I mean, when Tucker almost outscores all your wide receivers combined, you're going to get a low score. And that's what happened with Zach. But GG's to Bill. Moving on to the final matchup. This was the highly anticipated toilet bowl of last week. Pretty much everybody said that Tyler was going to win and was in a much stronger position, and they were all right. 117 to 54. It goes from worse, from
we were
good to
almost on
worse. I
record
wish
watch.
Slaps was here for this show that he said he was going to be at because this would have been a great time to get his thoughts. Coming off one of the lowest scores of the week, it was on record watch for a little while there. Um, it's just a disaster for Slaps. He now falls to 1-6 in dead last place at the moment. A game back at Tyler, who's now 2-5, and Matt at 2-5. Is there any sign of hope for Slaps moving forward? He's already changed his team name to On the Beach already, so he clearly doesn't think so. I mean, Joe Burrow is one of his bright spots, and when your quarterback is one of your bright spots, that's never that great. Najee Harris did have a nice game, but can you really count on that moving forward? Stevenson, that trade has been a disaster. Although on Pusa's side, I guess it hasn't been much better, but at least he's got the Tampa running backs who have been playing a little bit better. Ayuk is now done for the year, so that's another injury to add to Slaps, and a trade that should have never happened. I mean, he was so concerned about A.J. Brown, and now he's stuck with one wide receiver that's done for the year and another that's not performing in Harrison, and A.J. Brown on the other side has come back and just put up monster weeks back to back. So mark that down as a mistake from Slaps. Laporta had a horrible game. We'll see with Jamison Williams out moving forward if maybe he can get a little more targets. Downs back to shit with Richardson. I mean, the whole thing is just a disaster at the moment. I would like to try to show some type of positivity for Slaps, but at the moment, this team is reeking to me of injuries, bad luck, number one. That's 50% of it. But the other 50% is poor management. The trades this season, the panic trades, have none of them have really worked out. They all, maybe one week they do okay, but then the rest of the season it looks like horrible. He could have kept he could have had still he traded Tony Pollard away who's been decent, way better than Stevenson or Harris. He traded
Speak for
perfect
yourself.
timing. Wow, perfect timing. He traded away AJ Brown, so it's just not great. Slaps, we were just talking about your team and your week last week. Any comments you'd like to make after your
Mute the
disappointing
Discord.
loss?
Oh, I mean, my team is dog shit. So yeah, I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Okay. All right. Any
Hi.
comments on your trades so far this year?
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
So you're not going to give us any comments at all. Okay. Well, as I was saying before you joined, this team is 50% injuries and bad luck on that standpoint, and I think 50% bad management of your trades that you've done this year. I don't think have been very good. So, but and that's why you're in this position at 1-6. Those two things
I
combined.
can't believe
Go
I
ahead.
went back on my word.
Huh?
I said I can't believe I went back on my word and instead of picking Tyler for the pick on took my bye week. I called
Slaps,
this.
if you're not talking, can you mute your mic? Because you have a
Yeah.
lot of background noise. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, 2 seconds.
Oh, I called the 50-point win, and I regret not picking Tyler because his
Yeah, you
team
did
just
change that after you traded away Amari Cooper.
on the show. I predicted a 50-point. I didn't expect it this bad, but yeah,
Well,
Josh
it only
Downs
was
back.
really 50 because of how bad Slap's team did.
Josh Downs
I mean,
with
Tyler put up
Anthony
117, which
Richardson.
is very respectable, but I mean,
His team's yeah, he's in trouble.
he has some decent players. He made a trade which we're going to talk about for where he traded away Amari Cooper after we were giving him praise for Amari
Yep.
Cooper being on his team. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Another thing, like you said, Barrow. Maybe he can get a couple pieces out of Barrow and just start Herbert. Like do something else.
I don't think
Yeah,
so. I don't think
maybe.
anybody's trading for a quarterback or
True.
giving up anything decent. And it's not like Burrow's an automatic 20 plus. He still
Yeah.
has his iffy games like 14. You can get 14 from any quarterback. So I don't know how. I don't see any really way forward. I think the only way forward for Slaps is if Najee Harris keeps putting up a couple more nice games like this, and if Harrison and Laporta can the next like 2 weeks pick it up. Maybe he gets a win one out
Can
of
I
2 weeks, and then he
can
could
I just
trade
say
away
something?
those guys on a high. I think that's the
Can
only
I just say
possibility.
something,
Yes,
please?
go ahead.
The only hope that I have with my team is TJ Hawkinson. I'm going to be honest with you. That's literally the only, I think currently
As
the
in he
only
comes
positive
back and
thing that
does
I have.
good, or you trade him
Yep.
for something.
No. The only positive I have is that he comes back and somehow puts up 20+ points a week. Like, we've seen how good Sam Darnold's looked.
I think that's a bit of a
Sam Darnold
stretch
looked
to
good.
hope for 20 points each week from
You're
him as a
right.
tight end.
I agree.
With
I agree.
Justin
That's the
Jefferson on
only.
the team, and they run it with Aaron Jones.
I know. I agree. That's
I think though
the
what I
only
said.
hope that I have.
I disagree. I think what I said makes more sense of a possibility. I think if Najee Harris could put up a couple more games like this, if Laporta can somehow get a monster games the next 2 weeks with
No,
Jamison Williams out,
you're
and
no
if
no no no
Harrison
no no
can
no no
bounce
no no
back,
no.
then you could trade those guys and have
No,
some value.
Laporta is dog shit. Doesn't get
Okay,
targets.
but
He
Jamison
will not
Williams is
get.
out the
No, no.
next 2 games, so maybe he gets more targets.
Regardless, he will get nothing. Laporta is utter
I don't know how you
dog.
can say that when last year Jamison Williams was complete dog shit and suspended, and he got way more targets last year than what he was getting this year. Jamison Williams
Totally agree
basically
with you.
took the targets from Laporta from last year, this year.
Yeah, you're right, but regardless of the fact that Jameson Williams is out this week, Laporta is one of the worst tight ends in the whole NFL right now.
All right. Well, you're
He
not
does
doing a
not
really
get
good job of
no,
getting any trade value when
no,
you're calling him
listen,
complete
because
shit.
you're right. He is my third round draft pick,
Yeah.
and he has had about 5 targets all season. He is dog shit bad, right?
I don't think he's
not denying
bad.
that.
I think he just isn't getting the
Terrible,
targets he got last year when he was really good.
terrible pick. I'm not even defending my pick. I made a huge mistake taking him in round 3.
I think you're a little
He is
hard on yourself
he
there
is
because
terrible.
a lot of
No,
people were taking him
golfer.
3 or
Golfer,
4.
he is terrible. I would have had more value out of round 10 picking fucking Cole
Okay,
Parkinson.
but you don't
or
know
whatever the
that
hell
at
his
that
name is.
point of the draft.
Anyway.
You're expecting the
Anyway.
Hawkins, or you're expecting the Laporta from last season.
You're right. Terrible
So you
pick at
can't
round
be
3.
too
He
hard
is
on
dog
yourself
shit.
for that.
No. He's dog shit. He is terrible.
All right, well, we'll
Wait,
leave it there and
no,
move
wait,
on.
no, hold on. Let me defend myself. He is dog shit.
I already did.
Then, what else were we talking about there?
We're talking about the trade for AJ Brown when you said multiple times here, I need to win now. So you make these trades and then you still didn't win. And then
sorry.
now you got
So I
players,
made the
you gave
trade
away your
for,
best players.
I made a trade for AJ. I traded away AJ Brown
After
for
a couple weeks of
MHJ.
having him in your lineup. Or not in your lineup, but
Yeah,
on your bench.
no. He was on my bench for 3 weeks, and
Yes.
I traded him away when he went on his bye week
Yes.
for
Why?
Marvin Harrison, who had a really good week, and Ayuk, who I took a risk on.
Okay, so
The week
you just hold on.
after-
Wait. You can finish. You just admitted you sold AJ Brown low and you bought Harrison high.
No, I didn't.
That's what you
I
just said. You
bought-
said you traded
Sorry,
AJ
I
Brown
bought
away when he was
Harrison.
on his bye
Sorry,
because
sorry.
Harrison just had a huge week the week before.
No. He had like 3 weeks high. So I bought Harrison looking good, and I bought Ayuk low. I bought Ayuk on the low.
He had 17 and 15.
I don't know. I can't check just now.
I just checked.
Anyway.
Weeks 3 and 4.
However, Ayuk then ended up getting 22 points the week after I traded it for him, and then MHJ
and that-
has now had. Marvin Harrison has had a combined something like 9 points in 3 weeks that I've had him.
Yes, that trade is horrible. That's what I was saying
Horrible.
before you joined.
But everyone thought that I won that trade when I made it.
No. We only said you won the trade after the first week when Ayuk had his big game. Then we thought maybe this wasn't as bad as everyone thought.
No, nobody thought that I traded low. Like nobody thought that the trade was shit for me when I made it.
We didn't think it was shit, but it just didn't make sense either.
Anyway,
No.
Well, it didn't make sense. but I
Nobody
had to- I
said
had
you
to win.
won that trade
No.
when you made it. It was only the next week, once Ayuk had a big week for you and Harrison was okay, then we said, well, maybe it's not as bad as what we thought.
Anyway, regardless, I sold Zay Flowers on the low when it happened.
Yes.
Then
Thank
AJ
you.
Brown was injured, so for me it made sense to do the trade because AJ Brown wasn't playing anyway. So,
Yeah,
but
that
obviously the
goes
last
back to
2
the point
weeks-
of you held him
Can I
for
just say, hold
3
on,
weeks that he was
hold on.
hurt.
I know, but nobody was taking him when I was trying to sell him when he was hurt.
Yeah, they only wanted him as soon as
I
they
sold
knew
him
he was
when I
coming
could.
back the next week.
And then he got rid of Puka Nakua for Christian Kirk.
Listen, there was no. What do you mean? Puka Nakua has been out for 7 games now.
I know, but you could have got more than Kirk.
I'm not
No,
going to
I
give you a
couldn't
hard
have
time
because
on
I
that
tried
one.
to sell him.
I'm not
Anyway,
going to give you a hard
let's-
time on that one.
Regardless,
Kirk's been
regardless.
asked, but you weren't going to get
yes, I
anything
agree.
for Nakua.
But well, Kirk had like.
I'm
two
just
good
giving you a
games,
hard
but-
one on the Ayuk Harrison one and the what did you
Golfer.
trade away Tony Pollard for?
Yeah. Do you know what? I can't even remember anymore. I honestly don't care. I really don't care. I'm pointing
Wasn't
out
it
that I
Stevenson?
really genuinely.
Because Pusa has Pollard, so I'm pretty sure that involves Stevenson. And something
It
else.
did involve
Just
Stevenson.
click
I
on
can tell
Stevenson.
you
You
right
see
now.
his trade
Hold on.
history. Put
It
on
was
the bottom.
definitely Stevenson involved in
There
it.
you go.
No,
Currently has
no,
Tony
that was
Pollard.
involved in the AJ
I-
Brown. But
Yeah, it was with Pusa. So it was Zeke, AJ Brown, Rashad White.
you
and
traded
Zay
away
Flowers,
Paulson
but Ayuk
very
Gibson.
early.
Yeah, what was the
Before
Pollard
that.
trade then?
Let me see. Pollard and
Ew.
Gabe Davis for Najee and Charbonnet. Sorry, that's
Well, you're saying that, but Najee
actually
looked good the last
that
2
could have
weeks.
been really good for you if you weren't so tight on Charbonnet and traded him
Wait,
in
hold
the
on,
boom
hold
of
on.
Charbonnet. Not
Harris has looked good the last 2 weeks, so you can't say that.
Okay, good is a.
going back to
Yeah, but then you didn't
hold
sell
on.
Charbonnet when you had
You
the
traded so
Right.
you could still
Shut
have
up,
Harris.
all you know.
Hold on. No, let me finish. You could still have Harris right now, who's looking better, and you could have had the complete Chiefs stack, including Kareem Hunt, who's been balling the last few weeks, for a backup running back that's now worthless. But you were too stingy
Golfer,
those 2
completely
weeks
agree with
to see the future of Charbonnet gonna be going way down.
Golfer, I'm not disagreeing with you there.
Okay.
It's the same point that Puka's made about Terry McLaurin and Chuba Hubbard.
Yes.
You know, if I had sold AJ Brown for McLaurin and Hubbard, I've literally been in discussions with Puka the last 4 days about the fact that I would currently be 4-3. So it's not whatever Puka said about the whole 6 and whatever.
I don't care
11-2.
about all that. That's just Pook trying
Anyway,
to hype up his trade so he can get a trade done with somebody
But you have
else.
to appreciate when the trade comes to it, right? I had Carson Steele at the time. The reason I didn't do the trade is
Carson
because
Steele is not
I-
good.
No, I know we didn't do the trade because I had Carson
Hold on.
Steele.
It comes back to you need to know the player. Like Carson Steele is a gadget guy that the Chiefs use. He's an Australian gadget guy. He's not an every down running back, and you should have been able
His
to
position
see
is fullback.
that type
You wanted
that
me.
type of
You
thing.
wanted me to trade. You wanted me to trade Sharp, at the point that he was the leading back with Walker out.
Yes,
you
because
want me to
he
give-
wasn't going to be
Yeah,
the
I
lead back for
know.
a couple more weeks.
I know.
That's the time to trade him,
Hindsight
Slaps,
is a
when he's at his
wonderful thing.
highest value. When you know
Hindsight
it's gonna
is-
go down.
Wait, what was the
I've
offer
been
for?
preaching this to you so many times when you send me these shit
Okay.
trade offers. You have to trade on a high and buy on a
What
low,
was the
not
offer
the
for?
opposite way.
Go
And
for
you
it.
keep doing it the
Please
opposite way.
let me explain my thought process behind it. This is my first time I've been able to be in a show where I can
Okay, go
explain
ahead. Go
my
ahead.
thought process behind it. Right. So when you offered me the whole Sharp trade, right? We didn't know. We had no idea who the lead back was going to be in the Kansas City offense situation.
Yes. Which is why I was
Right.
giving you them all.
And Walker
And hold on,
was
wait.
out.
I'm not. I'll let you talk, but I have to time out at certain points because you don't tell the whole story. What was I telling you in the DMs at that point when you were saying, "Well, we don't know who the person is going to be"? What did I tell you? I kept telling you. That's why I'm giving you them all, because in the next week or two, it will shape out where you will get to see who's getting used the
Totally
most
agree with
and
you.
who's putting up the biggest print. And then going forward from there, because Pacheco's out for so long,
Completely
you
agree
will
with
know
you.
who to go with each week. And that's
I
exactly
know.
what happened. You
Totally
saw
understand
Hunt
that.
take control of
Is he
that
getting
backfield
Pacheco?
and put up the points.
That looks like
What
that's
you
it.
also forget that what you forget is involved in that though is that you were offering me the Kansas City guys, but you were asking me to also give up Sharp and Najee Harris. You also you continue to forget
Najee
that.
Harris was shit back
It was Sharp and Harris
Okay.
for the
And at
Chiefs
that,
running
but
backs.
yes,
That's
but
what
at
you're
that time,
asking.
Najee Harris was doing nothing, and
Okay.
we added something else into the deal after that
Mostert,
for
who was injured.
yes,
So I'm looking at it right now. You were offering me Kareem Hunt, who
I was
we
and
didn't know
Pacheco
what.
and
Hold
the whole Chiefs
on.
backfield.
Let me explain. So you were offering me Kareem Hunt, Pacheco, and Pirine when I had Carson Steele, and you were offering me Mostert. And what you're asking me to give up was Charbonnet, who was the running back one for the Seahawks for that
For 2
week.
weeks.
At least 2 weeks, but we didn't know how long when you offered me that.
We did. No.
So-
You're the only one that
no,
didn't
we
know.
didn't.
You're the only one that
We
didn't.
didn't.
You,
No, we didn't.
No,
Godfrey, we didn't.
you were the only one in DM slaps, and we're taking way too much time on this, so we're going to move on here in a second.
We
You were
didn't.
the only one in
Godfrey,
DMs
anyway.
between me, you, and Bill saying, well, he could go on IR. He could be out like 3 or 4 more weeks. No, he's not, slaps. If it was that serious of an injury where he wasn't coming back very soon in the next week or two, he would already have been on IR because he already missed like 2 previous weeks. A team doesn't
Godfrey, we
leave
didn't
somebody
know.
off of IR if they're gonna miss 4, 5, 6 weeks. They put them on IR if it's that bad.
Well,
Right. I wasn't saying he was going to go on IR. I'm just saying that
You did. You said he could miss
offered me
another
that
3 or 4 weeks.
at the
That's what you
start.
said.
You had offered me at the start of when the whole
No.
injury thing had happened.
No, I
And you were
didn't.
asking me for Harris as well.
The
So you're
trade.
asking me to give
No,
up.
the trade discussions
Harris
with
was
Bill were
You're not listening.
3 weeks into the frickin' Walker injury. It was like week 4 or 5.
Can you let me explain? Can you let me explain? Can you let me explain my thought process without?
I did. I am.
Right.
I'm just saying. You're telling
Right.
me
We gotta
that I
move
tried to
on. So,
offer you
at the
this
time-
at the very
listen,
start of the Walker injury. I
Let
did
me.
it.
You're still going on. Right. Charbonnet was the number 1 running back at the time that you offered me it. You're also asking me to give up my other number 1 running back in Najee Harris at the time that you offered me this.
Yes.
All I was getting was a running back committee in Hunt, Pacheco, and Pirine with Mostert, who was the backup to A-Chain. So
Yes.
why would I do that at the time? You have to
Because-
understand, from my
because-
point of view,
Yes.
That would have been shit for me. It would have. It would have been total
It
shit.
wouldn't be shit for you
because-
now.
No, it wouldn't have. Because Hunt has been good the last 2 weeks, but also Harris has been
The
good
whole
the last
thing
2
is
weeks.
you
So,
also were
what are you
getting
talking about?
Pacheco in the deal, so it's not like you were never going to have the number. You were going to have the number one Kansas City running back for the rest of the year, no matter what.
Doesn't matter. You were also asking me to give up Harris, who's been
Who was
good
shit
the
at the
last 2 weeks.
time? He was shit at the
Yes,
time.
but you're also but you
So
also have to
okay,
understand.
so let me
Hunt
get
has
this
only been
straight
good
and
the
then we'll
last
move
2
on.
weeks.
Well, hold on, let me get this straight. We'll put this on the record and then we'll move on.
Hunt,
You're saying right now you would rather have the Harris production over all these weeks than the whole Kansas City backfield.
no, I'm saying to you.
Okay, so then I don't
the
understand why
production
we're
that
debating
Hunt
this
would
trade,
have
because
got-
that's what it is. That's what this trade is at this point. You can talk all you want about Sharp. It's meaningless because
You also
Sharp is
had
worth
Richard right
nothing
back in
now.
front.
No, but you have to understand that the production that Sharp got in the 2 weeks that
Got
he
you
was the
no
starting
wins.
running back.
Got you no wins.
You're right, but neither would have Hunt. And the Hunt production the last 2 weeks is the same production that Harris has got the last 2 weeks.
No, it's not.
So Hunt would have done nothing for me. Well, it is golfer because Hunt the
22
last
versus
2 weeks
16 this week.
You had
That's-
Rashard White while you had Harris. You're acting like you
because Hunt the last 2 weeks has been on bye and had 22 points, whereas Harris the last 2 weeks has got who would have thought 16 and 20 points. So he actually got 20 points more in the bye week that Hunt would have done nothing for me.
So moving forward, you'd rather have Najee Harris over the whole Kansas City backfield.
I'm not 100% not. Of course I wouldn't. But your logic behind it is that the deal.
My
that I
logic
would have
behind it
done
is I'm looking
would
at
have got me
past
more
just the
points in
current
weeks
week
that-
we're on, and that's your problem. You only look at what happened the previous week and what happens
Golfer,
that week.
Hunt would have done nothing for me in the
Okay.
with what you're talking about. In the 2 weeks that Sharp got 20 plus points or close to, they've done really well in the weeks that the Walker was out.
Yeah.
So Sharp done really well 2 weeks, then did shit, but then Harris
add
was
something
good
really quick in the one,
from the last 2 weeks. So you're saying to me that you think I should have benefited from Hunt? Hunt would have done nothing. Hunt would have
What I'm saying
wouldn't
to
have
you,
won me a
hold
week.
on.
He
What
wouldn't
I'm
have won my
saying,
week.
no, what I'm saying to you is, and the whole other part of the trade was there was a point where I said, you can keep Najee Harris, just give up Sharp, and I will take the Kansas City backfield. But you didn't want to do that trade either. So what I'm saying
Yeah,
to
'cause
you
I was
is,
getting with Mostert.
you were
You asked me
valuing
to give up
Sharp at
Harris for
such
Mostert.
a high point that nobody was ever going to pay because everybody knew Sharp was only going to be good for a week or two more. And then he's going to be
Right,
worth
but
nothing.
I know, but I thought those 2 weeks he would have given me a chance to win matches, which is what I needed him to. I know he was going to be worthless after
but
those
the
2
other
weeks.
side of the coin on that is you think that might give
Give him
you
a
a
3-minute
chance to
warning.
win those two matchups, but then what happens after that?
Right. Well,
The season
clearly,
isn't over in 2 weeks. You still had a whole
Right.
another 8 weeks left of the season after
Yes,
that.
but I needed to win games, golfer. I needed
You didn't need to win
games.
now.
I
You
had
could be
no other
winning
chance.
now.
You need to win now, not 2 weeks ago. Now
I
you're
did-
in trouble.
Slap. Can I ask you something before?
Hold on. The way you were acting was like the season is 5 weeks to being done and you're in last place by a game. That's when you gotta win now, not in week 5 and week 4. You can lose in those weeks and you still have a chance, which you did anyways. But now you lost those anyways, and now going forward, you
Can we just
have
right? Can we stop dwelling on the fact that a trade that involved Charbonnet and
I'm
Harris
not dwelling on
for-
just that
for-
trade, Slaps.
for
I'm
the
dwelling.
Kansas City running back?
I'm dwelling.
That
hold on.
has got nothing to do with the
I'm
position
dwelling
I'm in,
on
golfer.
all
That's
your
not the
trades.
trade.
Slaps, you don't seem to be understand what I'm telling you. I'm not shitting on just that trade. I'm shitting on the compilations of trades that you have done that has not improved your roster, and the fact that you trade away your best players after if you were going through the mindset of I gotta win now, then why didn't you trade AJ Brown 3 weeks before you traded him?
Right. Again, you're forgetting that people actually said off the back of the trade that I did for AJ Brown, because I sold Zay Flowers on the low, everyone thought, literally, people put in the chat after Golfer, and people forget this. Everyone was saying that I won that trade with MHJ, Ayuk.
Nope.
I got Ramondre Stevenson, and I traded away Zay Flowers, AJ Brown, and Rashad White.
Can I say
Everyone at
something?
that point,
We ha-
when I made that trade, that everyone said that
Okay,
I won the trade.
Go ahead, Rat.
That was what was said. That was what was
We
said.
Not that
no,
week.
And
Slab.
we have an
This
extra
is what
segment tonight.
hold
We
on.
should move on.
This is what happened, Slab. You had Rashad White. You traded away. You could have traded away Charles and Najee to get that. And then you're saying about the AJ Brown trade.
Fake
We
Rat,
did
I
say
can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear
we
you.
we said you did good on the AJ Brown trade. We did not say you
Yes.
won it. But what Golfer's trying to make is that you trade away players like Charbonnet, who only has defense value, but you really still on AJ Brown. You lost.
Mhm.
I mean, Golfer makes more sense than you.
My own,
So,
we're gonna. I promise we will move on after this. I'll make a statement and then you can finish it off, Slab. When I talk about all these trades, it all comes back to one original point that I have been trying to
The
tell you
timing of
the
the
whole
trade.
season. Every time you offer a trade, it's buy low, sell high, not the opposite. And yet, all your trade offers that you send seem to be the opposite. You always want me to buy your low players at a
Makes
huge
sense.
value. Meanwhile, you buy my player that's on a high at a low value. And it doesn't work that way. Nobody in this league is going to do those type of offers. It's the other way around. Look at Matt. He bought Derrick Henry on the lowest possible value,
Yeah.
and then he started popping off after that. And now the value that Matt would get for Derrick Henry is way more than anything he traded before that. He bought him on a low.
I suppose my final comment before I leave the show for the rest of the year, because I will not be attending anymore,
Okay.
is that my year has been screwed pretty royally. My round 1 pick was out for 4 games. My
Yeah, boy,
round
we're
2
starting
pick
next year.
was on IR after week 1. My
Yep.
round 3 pick, the tight end who we
Has
thought
been
was
a
going
bust.
to be,
Yep.
has been completely dog shit bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I will never ever see Laporta in my fantasy team ever
Okay.
again after this year.
Yep.
From then on, I then trade my round 1 pick for MHD and Ayuk. Ayuk then goes out for the season after week 6.
Yep.
You know, it's been a dog shit season
Yes.
that I have had no luck. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. Completely agree with you. I have made
Okay.
some
Bad
trades.
So
trades,
can we end it on this? Can we end it on an
Hold
agreement?
on.
Okay, go ahead. Jesus.
I've made some mistakes when it comes to trading.
Yes.
Right? In terms of, like hindsight trades, you know, we look back at the
I
trades I
don't think
could
it's
have
all
got.
just hindsight, but okay. We won't debate it any further. But
To an extent, it's been hindsight, though. You know, you look
I
back
think we can agree you got very unlucky with a lot of injuries, but then that caused you
Bro, are
to
you running a back end?
overreact to you losing
Sorry,
games
it's my wife. Hold up.
and causing you to overreact and do trades that you shouldn't have done. Can we agree on that?
But I don't feel like I did trades on paper when I done them that like I should have done.
You got
Like
horrible
Ace Brown
injury
one
luck at the
on
beginning of the
paper.
season. You were 1-5, 1-4, 1-3, and you kept seeing the losses come in. And so then
Yeah.
you traded away your best players because you felt like you had to
But-
shake it up hugely to try to win games.
But Golfer, look at the trades I've done though.
We did. We
I've
already went
actually
through them all.
I've not done a massive amount of trades. If you
You've
look at
done
the
like
Pollard
3
trade,
or 4. I don't know. 3 or 4.
Alright, go have your dinner.
All right, we have an extra segment
But-
tonight. We have to move on.
anyway, what I'm saying is, in the hindsight stuff where I could have traded, you know, I look at the AJ Brown thing. So if I had traded AJ Brown for Pollard and no, sorry, if I traded him for Hubbard and McLaurin, I would have had a few wins. I traded him for MHD and Ayuk,
I think you should have
thinking
just
that
kept
was the
AJ
best.
Brown,
You're right. I agree. Hindsight's a great thing.
It's not hindsight though.
Trades I
when you-
did
It's not
have
hindsight.
worked,
Hold on.
and my-
AJ Brown is not hindsight when you keep him for 3 weeks and declare you're going to keep him through his injury, but then when he's on his bye about to come back, then you trade him. That's not
Yes,
hindsight.
because
That's not hindsight.
I was at panic point at that point, and
I
Okay,
also
I
thank
offered you
you.
felt
So we
Devontae.
and I
agree.
felt like
You
I
saw
needed
your
one.
losses pouring in, and you overreacted and panicked on your record and traded away your best player. That was my point I was trying to make.
Totally agree. Yeah,
Okay.
no,
All
don't
right.
disagree with that.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, we
Okay,
gave
let's
Slaps
rebuild.
his
Anyway,
30-minute
Go.
defense of his
Wait,
team since he
but
hasn't been
hold
able to
on.
defend it all year long.
Before I leave, people forget that I have been completely fucked all year by injuries and the
Nobody
fact that
Yes, we
I've
forgets
had
that.
acknowledge
bust
that. No
players.
one's
Everybody
saying
has
that.
to.
I have been saying for
Not
weeks,
everybody.
it's 50% luck and 50% skill, and you have had no luck this season. I have said that countless shows. You can go back and watch. But I have said the last few weeks, it's 50% luck and 50% skill, but this season, it's kind of been more like 25% luck for you because your luck's been so shit, and 75% skill that you have not been
Totally
performing
disagree with
lately.
that. Golfer, it's got nothing to do with skill.
It does.
What could I have possibly
I already
done to
told
have
you
won me
multiple things that
matchups?
you did
There's
wrong,
I
in
nothing.
my
offered you
opinion.
the Eagles wide receiver
I
one
told you
when Brett went
multiple
down.
No,
Slaps. We're not
that's
going to
down to me
reverse back.
trading.
You disagree with my take on your team. That's fine. And your decisions that you made. You're calling them all hindsight. I don't think they're all hindsight. I just told you one trade that I don't think is hindsight at all. You just panicked because you saw your record. You either take the stance of I'm going to ride out all these injuries and then see where I'm at when my team comes back and then maybe make a move after they're all back healthy if I'm still losing games, or you panic and get them all gone then and there. You don't wait 3 weeks,
Well,
lose the games and then trade him when he's
unfortunately,
about to come back. You take one
unfortunately,
stance or
I'm
the
at the
other.
point now. Unfortunately, I'm at the point now that my team has literally. There's not a single player in my whole team that has any form of value, and hence why
But that won't
this is
stop you
my
right now from
final
trying to
show.
trade them.
Hold on.
That won't stop you
Well,
from
of
trying to
course I'm
trade
going to
them.
try. Hence, to make a point on what you said earlier as to why I need to now trade, like somehow get value. I'm not going to just get taken by the woodshed about any player that I've got. I'm
Okay,
going to
that's
try
good.
my best to rate anybody that possibly
Ain't gonna happen.
I can get. I know, but I'm going to try.
You're better off to
Anyway,
wait a week and hope that a couple of them pop off, and then go from and then try to trade
that's
them.
impossible. Anyway,
Okay. You
hence
never.
why this is
The
my one
thing
and
about it
only
in
fantasy show of
fantasy,
the year.
hold on, fantasy can change within the week. Marvin Harrison
No,
could
it
pop
can't.
off for 25 next week, or Laporta could pop off for
Impossible.
20 next week with way more
No, it
receptions,
can't.
and then all of a sudden you have something. So
No,
can
no,
always
no. That
it can
right.
always happen
Just to
sometimes.
Go to
to
your dinner.
touch on those two
Go.
points. Marvin Harrison will have 3 targets this week.
Okay.
Laporta will have none.
Pick him.
When
And
you're that pessimistic, you might
um,
as well just finish last now. Good luck to you.
listen, I'm fully on the beach right now already.
Okay.
So this is my one and only fantasy show of the week. I look forward to next year, and I will see you all later.
All right. Have a good night, Slubs. Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
All
All right,
right.
we're cutting out
All
a
right.
couple
Now
seconds
that
from
we
it.
got all the negativity and pessimistic, I think Slaps has more negativity and pessimistic about his team and about all of his players and about everything he's done more than anybody else, more than the rest of the league combined, honestly. But having said that, good to hear from Slaps this one time this year so he can give his thoughts on how his season has gone. Clearly, I disagree a little bit on it, but moving on. All right. To the waiver claims for this past week, it was a very busy, probably one of the last huge busy waiver claims of the season, as some money was spent this week. Starting off with Cade Otton for $28 to Bill. As you can see here, a lot of competitive bids, so good bid by Bill to win him. Pook bid 20, I bid 17, Slaps bid 15. So GG's to Bill. Should, you would think, get quite a few targets moving forward with no Godwin or Evans. Rat picks up Jalen McMillan, another Tampa Bay option for targets possibly, for $24. Good bid by him as I bid 19 and Slabs bid 10. So good bid for him. We'll see if he turns out to be anything good. Anything you want to say on that, Rat, really quickly?
It's just a valuable
Yeah, so you can
flex
stash him
option.
on the bench for a week or two and see
Yeah.
what he does.
Yeah.
Moving on, I picked up Ricky Pearsall for 23. Bit of an overpay as Pook only bid 7, but I was bidding high bids on all these players because I need some wide receiver depth. especially if Debo is out this week, to go already with Evans being out. See if I end up playing him or not. Probably not. We'll probably wait and see what he does this week. Bill gets Cedric Tillman, the Cleveland wide receiver, now with Cooper gone for 23. Huge overpay, though, as Pook bid 0. So a little bit of a yikes there for Bill. Then I picked up Sterling Shepard, another Tampa Bay wide receiver. Baker has connection with Shepard in the past at Oklahoma, so I'm hoping maybe he becomes a sneaky guy moving forward. And if it's not going to be McMillan, maybe it's Shepard. Tyler picks up Ezekiel Elliott for $4. Interesting. I picked up a kicker, changed kickers. Pook picks back up his boy Moody and drops Gay. Okay. Franklin, Zamir White. Talk about a bust this season. It was drafted very, very high and has not performed at all and is now on the waiver wire. Tyler Pierce for Trevor Lawrence, so he gets rid of one of his quarterbacks. Another kicker change, and Tyler picks up a Carolina receiver. So that is waivers. Also, real quick, Rat picks up Tua. Decent pickup there, assuming he doesn't get CT fingers moving forward. You got 3 quarterbacks on your roster now. Is that correct?
I'll trade one on a high.
Okay. All right. All right. Looking real quick at trades, we will go through these very quickly since we're behind. Really, the only ones I really want to point out is the one that was made today or yesterday with Rat and Bill. Lockett and Olave goes to Bill. Connor and Dobbs goes to Rat. Very interesting trade there. Olave has been hurt and has not done shit lately. Lockett's been okay. Rat wanting the running back over the wide receiver. Rat, your comments on the trade.
I wanted better running back depth, and I like the new style: 3 wide receivers, 3 running backs.
Okay. Obviously, Bill has to give up a decent price on Connor, but maybe Olave, if he can get back fully healthy and start doing something, if Derek Carr comes back, maybe he could try to fill some of the void that Godwin is now leaving. Big blow to Bill's team. We didn't really mention it. Was Godwin's injury at the end of the game. Tough loss for Bill as he'd been balling with Godwin. Then Jennings for Charbonnet. So, I guess some type of value for Charbonnet at this point. I don't mind that for slaps. Goddard and Kraft. That was last week. I guess.
I like that trade for slaps. Good
Yeah,
trade.
yeah. That's decent going forward. That's
It's the
that's
best value you got out of Charbonnet.
Look,
yeah.
someone's
That
gonna catch
honestly.
passes.
I think that's the best value that he could get for Charbonnet at this point. So not horrible. And then obviously the last big trade I want to talk about was the one last week. We didn't get to talk about this. Cooper and Zamir White for Jackson Smith-Vigil and Tyro Tracy. Actually, I think we did talk about this last week. I think.
I forget, but Tyler, no, he just wasn't thinking.
Yeah, I mean Cooper catches a touchdown in his very first week. Jigba didn't do much. What did Tracy do? I didn't even
He
see.
had like 7 points or something.
Okay, so nothing compared to what he did in the previous week. I said this. I think I said this last week on the show. That's why I think we did talk about this. The only way this trade works for Tyler is if Tracy puts up those 20-plus point games like he did the week Singletary was out. But it didn't happen last week, so I would have kept Cooper, in my opinion. But all right, so that is all that. Looking ahead then to week 8. We'll speed run. I'm not going to go over everybody's total lineups since we're behind. Starting with my matchup versus Ernie. Obviously a big one as Ernie's 3-4 and I'm 4-3. Obviously, anytime we play, it's going to be a little aids with who wins. I would much like to see a win this week to get back to 5-3, stay out of the mess of being out of the playoffs. Ernie looking to get off the 4-game slide. At the moment, Sleeper projecting Ernie by about a point, 116 to 115. Looking at some of the notables here, he has Kyron tomorrow night to get him started. His receivers, he's pretty much riding what he had last week, so maybe they can have some bounce backs after all getting like single digits with Dell and McConkey. Kamara, we'll have to see what happens with him with his broken hand issue. Apparently, he's been playing, so although Chargers defense has been decent, so I'm hoping I can get lucky there with another shit game from Kamara. Obviously, his Barkley and Kyron should be good to get him started. On my side, Purdy plays Dallas on Sunday night. God knows what he's going to do. He did still get 17 last week despite all the interceptions. I'm hoping Debo can somehow play. We'll have to see what happens, but it's not looking great. I'm going to need CD off the bye in that Sunday night game to have a big game. Garrett Wilson against New England. I like that a lot. Hopefully he can get up some big points. And Kareem Hunt against the Raiders should be decent. If Debo plays, then I don't have to play Christian Watson, but if Debo doesn't play, then I have to play Watson in Jacksonville. So we both have some question marks and some issues. Obviously, I'm going to pick myself, but it will be, I think, a close matchup around what Sleeper is projecting, like 120, 115, somewhere in there. Hopefully, I can sneak out a win on Sunday night. Or Cheese, who's winning this matchup?
You're winning it, and
Go ahead.
Cowboys do that thing where they start trying after the bye for some reason. I think
Okay.
CD's going to finally have a big night.
Yeah. One other thing I didn't mention, hopefully Kareem Hunt can just run all over the Raiders, and then that gets Patrick Mahomes with another like 12, 13-point game. Hopefully he doesn't pop up.
Also, I don't know. I'm not a big believer in Calvin Ridley at all. And like,
Yeah. Who did he
he's got-
start last week? Did he start? I don't remember who he started last week. I don't know if it was Calvin Ridley, but against Detroit, I don't know. Who's the
he
quarterback
started
now
Juju.
for
Started
Tennessee?
Juju.
Oh, he started Juju, yeah, but now he's out. So, all right, Rat, who's winning?
I'm going tie.
Tie. Wow. Okay.
Tie.
Interesting. Alrighty. Moving on then to the next matchup. Damn, I should have asked Slaps real quick if he's winning this week, but we all would have known his answer based on
No.
how he left the party. I mean, it's 118 to 96 according to Sleeper. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. There's a chance Brock Bowers might, outscore all of Slaps' team potentially. As I said, I guess the only route for Slaps is maybe Burrow has a big game, maybe Harris has another nice game, maybe Harrison pops off and Laporta gets way more targets now with Jameson out, and then Jennings, who you traded for, maybe he has maybe he can get another 30-point game. If Debo and Ayuk are both out, that's what happened the last time he had 40. So maybe that happens. I think that's the only route. All that happening is the only route that he beats Rat's team. As Pook already said to Rat, if you somehow lose to Slaps this week, God only knows what will happen to Rat. I kind of hope that happens. I just want to see what happens to Rat's demeanor and to his team if somehow Slaps pulls this upset off. Geez, who's winning? Obviously, I'm taking Rat.
It's Rat.
Okay.
It's just,
Rat, I'm assuming you're going to win?
I'm going to win, but I'm also going to be really, really, really sick if I lose to Juan Jennings, Justin Tolbert, Al Mazard, and Ramondre Stevenson in a week against a 1-6 team.
If you lose to a guy that just sounded like that in the party a few minutes ago,
if I lose to Slaps, nobody on my team is going to be on my team the following week.
A complete nuke. Wow.
They don't deserve to be on my team.
I will be in contact.
Yeah, I'll be DMs as well.
Christian McCaffrey, buddy, will be shipped back to Germany. He's not. They don't deserve to be on my team if I lose the Slaps.
All right, well, we'll see if that happens. It would be interesting if it's close, at least. Let's give you a little bit of a sweat. All right, moving on to the next matchup. Matt, after picking up a big win over Ernie last week at 2-5, Bill at 4-3. Close matchup as well, according to Sleeper, 115 to 114. Bill with Allen in there. Like I said, I'll be surprised if he starts Baker or Allen moving forward. Kenneth Walker's been having good games in there. Cooper, obviously, he's got the Allen to Cooper connection now. Chris Olave, we'll see if he plays and how he plays. And he's going with two tight ends, McBride and Otten this week. The two tight end format has not been tried yet this season with the extra flex. We'll see if it can get a win this week or if it will continue to be horrible. Matt, God, the quarterback situation is just so bad for Matt. With all those quarterbacks available as well, I'm surprised he hasn't tried to get one of the lesser ones for a little bit cheaper. But he's rolling with Richardson still against Houston. Derrick Henry, though, continued to ball in. Great matchup against Cleveland. I expect another 20-plus point game from him. Then he's got his Chicago boys back off bye in that big game against Washington. Should do decent. Overall, it's a close one, but Gervonta plays Carolina after his monster game last week. I think Bill wins. Who does he have on his bench? Does he have? He doesn't really have anybody
His
that he could.
bench is kind of terrible.
Doesn't really have anybody he could play. Oh, he has Worthy. I against the Raiders. I'd probably start Worthy if it was me over Cade Otten. I'd wait. I'd want to see a week of Otten first before I throw him in there. And plus, I don't want to risk the two tight end strategy. But we'll see if Bill can get a win with it. I'm gonna take him, but very close matchup. Chiefs. Who's winning?
I will be taking. Oh, this is tough. It's actually pretty tough. I think I'm taking Matt
Okay.
because I feel like he got some good matchups,
hmm
and Andrews has been trending up. DJ Moore versus Washington's a good matchup, and Henry's gonna run all over Cleveland.
Okay.
I think Bill's team's solid, but like injury scares. Like Olave, I don't think he's gonna do much even if he plays. And like two tight end strat works sometimes, but it's gonna backfire. So like, I bet On pops off and McBride that week or something. It never works.
Okay. All right. Rat. Who's winning?
I'm gonna say close one, and I'm taking Matt also.
Wow.
I
All right.
I,
Two
uh,
votes for Matt.
I can see Anthony Richardson and Pittman having one of those weeks where they can just save Matt, and I think they have a good week. And then
Really? You think Richardson's gonna have a good game against
I
Houston? At
I think it's
Houston?
going to be a shootout game. I think it's
Wow. Okay.
look, I every Houston and Colts game we watch, it's always a shootout, and for some reason I have him just having a good game. Henry does Henry stuff. Diggs is going to have a better game than last week. I think that's going to be the thing is a shootout in that Houston and Colts game, and that's going to
Okay.
help Matt's team.
Okay. Wow. All right. Good one there. Moving on, obviously, to one of the highlights of the week. Cheese versus Pook. Battle of 5-2 versus 5-2. Pook's team is on the
Big,
rise.
big matchup.
Cheese's team is kind of on a little bit of a slide with 2 losses in a row, but decent performances. So who will get this win? 122 to 120. Sleeper has Cheese out in front slightly. Obviously, doesn't look like Jay Daniels is going to be playing, most likely. So you're going to be throwing Kyler Murray in there against Miami. Decent matchup. Should be okay. Both Detroit boys. We'll see if Montgomery is good to go. I mean, he doesn't even have an injury designation, does he? So he should be fine.
No, Dan Campbell said he is fine.
Wow. Okay. Adams in there against the Patriots should be pretty decent. Shakir, Ache, DK, he probably ain't playing either, so you gotta make
Look,
some
he's in there for
changes to the
now.
lineup.
Look, the only change if DK's out, Rashad Bateman is subbing in.
Rashad Bateman. Okay. All right. No Mooney this week, huh?
They're playing Cleveland. Okay.
Okay.
Zay Flowers is banged. You know, I'm not saying he's not going to play, but Zay Flowers is definitely banged up. Everybody saw that.
Okay.
Bateman's had a lot of great games this year. So I think I'm hoping he can pop off again in the flex.
All right. On Pook's side, obviously Caleb Williams back off by should be a pretty good game there. Bijan has been rolling. Jacobs against Jacksonville is very good. Oh, he has Jefferson tomorrow night to get him started. So we'll see how much he gets. The Rams defense is horrible. That could be a 25 point,
Sit the
30 point
starters. Sit the
game.
starters.
Yeah, you're gonna need to hope for that because if it's competitive, Jefferson could have a monster game. I'd be worried tomorrow night. Ferguson on Sunday night. Shuba in there. He's going with Sutton in the fourth flex against Carolina. Good matchup, so I can see why he does it. We'll see though if Etienne is out, if Bigsby's the guy again, if he makes any change. He's also benching Keenan Allen against Washington, so that's the problem with Pook's team right now. Everybody's on a high right now on his team, and he's got options on the bench. And some weeks he starts the wrong guy the last few weeks, so it hasn't hurt him. We'll see if it hurts him this week if he doesn't start the right guy. Um, uh, I'm gonna have to pick Pook just because his wide receiving core is stronger. I mean, I'm gonna take Jefferson and McLaurin and probably even Sutton over Adams, Shakir, and Bateman.
Sutton's had a he had a goose egg.
I'm
Come
gonna
on.
yeah, but that I don't yeah, that means he's due for a bounce back good game
Is it?
against Carolina. So I just think the wide receiver I think the running backs are both very solid and kind of equal. Quarterbacks pretty equal. I mean, everything else is pretty equal. Maybe you get an advantage at tight end now with who knows who else is there going to be to throw. Kittle could get 10, 15 targets. Um, but I just think his wide receivers, I think, are better. So I'm going to take Pook in a close, high-scoring affair, but I think Pook pulls it out. Like his team a lot right now. It's trending very good. Rat, who's winning?
Look, Pook beat me, and it might sound like he this week. I don't like the Hubbard and Sutton combo this week. See
Okay.
how that goes. Um, Last year I had A-Chain, and it was the 5th week of the year. He put up 52,
Oh,
and I think Cheese is going to win because I think A-Chain's going to put up 30
well.
plus.
Oh, I thought you were going to call 52 again.
No,
Oh,
30 plus. His Lions boys are going to do his Lions boy stuff.
okay.
And yeah, I like Jesus flexes and better than
Mm,
Pook's.
okay. All right.
I do
We
like
disagree
Pook's
a little bit there.
two wide
Interesting.
receivers, but
All
I
right.
think that's the
All right.
flex.
Cheese, are you giving
I'm
Pook a
taking
loss?
myself. I'm
Okay.
taking myself.
Confidence. Uh-huh.
Look, the Lions boys are locks. Because if one goes down, the other just absorbs the points.
Yep.
Last week,
As we saw last week.
Adams is due for a better game. He had a lot of targets last week. Pittsburgh is a good pass defense. New England is not good at anything.
Okay.
Shakir put up 13 points, 7 targets last week. That's good. He's just looking very solid. I'm not saying
Amari
he's like
Cooper.
a wide receiver. I know, but Amari Cooper played this week.
Okay.
I'm saying he's a solid like flex wide receiver too. He
Seattle's
could get a
defense has been
touchdown.
bad, so that could be good.
Kittle will get all the targets. Kittle's always questionable. He always plays. I'm excited for Ache to come back because with Tua there, he's like a top 5 running back.
Okay.
I don't know if that'll be this week. It'll definitely be better than what we saw.
You're gonna need it for those bets,
Um,
aren't you?
yeah, the bets might be cooked, but well, actually, Brees has had some shit weeks, so I could
He's
bounce
been
back
popping
there.
off the last couple weeks.
He's had some shit weeks though too, so it kind of evens out. Not with Saquon though. I'm saying I think H had 10 points last week, which was like I'll take that. He rushed for 77 yards. Arizona's defense has not been amazing either, so I'm hoping
Okay.
Tua dump off Tua's back, and
You know
hopefully
what
get
I
tired.
love about
We'll
Cheese?
see though.
Cheese is the polar opposite of what Slaps was.
I'm always happy.
Everything is so optimistic and
Yeah.
positive. Meanwhile, Slaps, you try to throw some type of positivity about one of his
Well,
players, and
because
it's
look,
just a complete negative.
I'm only
No,
optimistic because in my losses we're
it's
still
amazing
putting
what
up.
5-2 will do compared to
In
a
my
I
guy
will
that
say,
losses, we're still. The only reason is in my losses we're still putting up great numbers.
Okay.
If I was putting
Well, I'm
up
not
like
saying you shouldn't be optimistic.
if we
I'm
were
just
putting up
saying
like 80
I love the
points
the
and
difference in contrast.
you
We went
know,
from slaps to now this.
look. I hope that DK and Jane Daniels they rest up. These are not long-term injuries they have.
I
These
think
are like
I think DK should pull a Debo and go out there and play.
I don't think I'm gonna start him even if he plays. I'm gonna be real.
Or Evans. Oh,
Because he might just be a decoy.
okay.
Look, I like Bateman. He's been popping off.
All right, we're gonna move on. I'm not giving you
I,
30
I'm gonna
minutes
take
like I
myself.
gave
I'm gonna
slaps.
take
I
myself.
want to say
I'm
one
gonna
more
take
thing.
myself.
Yeah.
I do like the Shakir play because Josh Allen's like Jordan Love, and they both share the ball everywhere. So I don't think Cooper obviously is going to get the more targets, but Shakir's a nice
Yeah, he's
wide
not a bad
receiver
player.
free flex.
He only
Yeah.
has like one drop all year.
And Devontae Adams sucks.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay. Nice little
Well,
take
Mike
there at
Evans
the
is
end.
not
All right,
playing
we're
for
ending
4
it
weeks,
on that.
so
Moving on to the next matchup, we have Zach versus Zombie. Big matchup here, and look at this. Zach's team projected for a good amount this week to give Zombie a run. At 3-4, Zach could really use this win. Does not want to fall to 3-5. Zombie taking over top spot at 5-2. We'll see if he can get another win after his team put up a monster week last week, so he's got to worry about maybe some regression. Zach, obviously, with Lemar against Cleveland, you just got to worry about maybe getting benched in the second half because they're up so big. Jonathan Taylor should make his appearance back. If that's a shootout like Rap predicted, then he should do good. JK kind of been on the slide. The all day has kind of been running out of steam lately. Saints, though, after what Javonte Williams did last week, maybe there's some upside there. Obviously, we talked about Tyreek Hill back. He's telling all his fantasy managers to get him in there because he's popping off. Zach could use it this week against Zombie. Then Chubb in the flex and Wandell still in the flex on Monday night. interesting there. I mean, he doesn't really have many options with Jameson now suspended. So on Zombie side, Prescott back on Sunday night. God, I hope that San Fran and Cowboys game is somehow a shootout, but I guarantee it will be an ugly ass, horrible game. Brees Hall against New England should be very good, though. He should continue to ball out. London. I mean, I really think this matchup really just comes down to one, how does Cooper Kupp look tomorrow night? But I think it really comes down to zombies, wide receivers, and flexes versus Zach's. Like, does Tyreek Hill pop off? Does Jaden Reed come back against Jacksonville? Or is it Cooper Kupp, Malik Neighbors, and Drake London just popping off this week? Ooh. I think I'm going to take Zombie, but in a close one. Sorry, Zach. Chiefs, who's winning?
Zombie, I've been disrespecting his team all year. Now I gotta respect it.
Wow. Okay.
Very solid.
Yeah. Imagine that,
Neighbors, I
Zach.
don't know. But
Imagine that, Zombie and Pook with two really good teams near the top of the standings. Who
look,
would've
my
thought?
big issue with Zach's team is that he's projected for 125, but Tyreek Hill's projected for 20 points or 19. So I
And
don't
they're
know.
expecting him to be back.
I don't
like
like.
he
I think
said
he'll
in his
be.
tweet.
I think it'll be better, but I
Okay.
think like the 15 range. I don't know if he's gonna get 20. He
Okay.
might. Very much. Like also like Wandale, not gonna be great. Danny Dimes looked atrocious last week. Baltimore's defense is actually Baltimore's defense can't shred.
It ain't as good as last year.
I just think that Zombie's got a all around like great team, except for Neighbors, just because Danny Dimes is so bad.
Yeah,
Neighbors'
but
fault.
like you said, he just gets target hog.
Yeah. So I mean, I think just I think it'll be I don't know Zach's team. If two has a good week, Zach's gonna be high scoring, but I think Zombie's gonna be another big week from him.
Here's the question. Cooper Kupp has been in trade rumors this week.
Yeah.
Should Zombie hope that he stays on the Rams or hope he gets traded?
The Rams.
It depends on the team.
You know why?
Team.
Matthew
What
Stafford.
about if he stays on the Rams or goes to Tampa Bay?
He'd be
The
fine in
Rams.
Tampa Bay. I think
The
he'd be
Rams.
fine in Tampa Bay.
Wow, you still say the Rams?
Matthew Stafford is his boyfriend.
That
and
is
he
true.
just
Yeah,
throws
but
the
I
ball.
think Baker Mayfield. You see
Can
Baker
I,
Mayfield target
predict this?
hogs. I'm just saying.
I think he'd be fine in Tampa. I
Yeah.
think
Can
if
I
he got
predict
traded to
this
some of those
matchup?
other
Yes,
teams,
go
it'd be
ahead,
bad
go
news.
ahead.
I have a hot take.
Okay, go ahead.
Lamar is going to do better than Dak.
Well,
Taylor's
that
going
ain't
to
a
do
hot
better than
take.
Brees Hall.
Okay.
Dobbins and Jones going to equal out.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill's back. We're getting there. Jaden Reed is Kupp's going to do better than Reed. Brian Thomas will do better than Chubb. But Wandale Robinson will outscore Malik Neighbors this week.
Okay, I was wondering where the fuck the hot
That's
take was.
what-
God, you made us wait forever to get there.
Wandale
Jesus.
Robinson will have more points than Malik Neighbors
Wow.
on Monday night in a
Okay.
close battle, and Zach's going to need 5 more points than Neighbors, and he's going to get it.
Can't make this shit up.
Wow, Zach, great timing. Great timing.
You can't make this
We're
shit up.
on
There's
your
only
we're
three
on your
people at
matchup.
this party.
Well, Slaps was here. You'll have to go back and watch because it was about a 30-minute doom and gloom session. It's too hard to explain. You're just gonna have to go back and watch.
It
But
shows
we're
the
on your
depression
matchup
rant.
versus zombies. So perfect timing. Rat was just giving
Zombies
a
here
hot
too?
take. No, you're facing zombie this week.
Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Zach's going to be down 5 on Monday Night Football, and Wandale Robinson will outscore Malik Neighbors.
Hello?
So Zach's gonna win, huh?
Zach can't hear us.
Hello, Zach.
Nope.
Hello. Okay. All right. So there we have that. On to the final matchup of the week. We have Pusa
Hello.
after. Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear us?
I can hear.
Okay.
I'm here.
Rat picked you. Said his hot take is that Wandale outperforms Neighbors on Monday night, and you pull off the victory.
Fuck you, fake rat.
What?
You said you would
I
win.
don't need your support. I needed you to
Oh.
support me starting at 8:30 tonight, you little bitch.
Buddy.
Buddy, we got plenty
The
of time. When you
30-minute
get
rant
home?
was slamps. You made it in plenty of time. I don't know
What
what
time you
you're
get home?
bitching about. Anyways, okay, are you winning against Zombie this week?
No comment.
So that's a no?
That's a no comment.
Sounds like a no to me. All right.
This
Scared
is
of
my
zombies, huh?
turn.
Sounds like you're worried about Zombies team. All right, moving on to the last matchup of this week. We had Pusa versus Tyler. 4-3 Pusa after his big win against me last week versus Tyler, who also got a big win of himself to get out of the cellar at 2-5. Can Tyler stack some wins together is the question. Sleeper doesn't think so. 119 to 110. Pusa has obviously Hurts. Cincinnati should be good. We'll see if he does ever find his running back that he's looking for with trading away his trash for a good running back. I doubt it will happen. Chase against Philly, A.J. Brown against Cincinnati. He's got a lot of players in that game. Zay Flowers against Cleveland. We'll see if he's good to go. And then he's throwing in Waddle right off the get-go against Arizona with Tua back. Interesting. So that means he's benching who? Deontay Johnson, his boy, obviously, with Bryce. Wow, Pusa said Bryce Young wasn't that bad, yet he's benching Deontay Johnson as soon as Bryce Young's back in there. On Tyler's side, got Geno against Buffalo, Mixon, who's looked really good, Singletary, who knows what you expect, especially against Pittsburgh defense. I don't like that at all. Then is St. Brown and Pickens, who both had huge games last week. He'll need that to happen again. So he's got a couple Monday night players in there. Jackson's with the Jija. He's going with a Dunze this week as well in the flex. Interesting call. Hopkins, he does now have. We didn't talk about Hopkins, but he's traded the Chiefs. Could that be an extra boost for Tyler, or will he just trade him away before he even gets to see him play a game like Amari Cooper? Tyler's had some good fortune with wide receivers on his team that get traded to possibly a lot better scenarios. So we'll see. He's already got rid of one of them, though. We'll see what he does with Hopkins, if he throws him in there or not. I know Pusa, he's been getting a lot of credit the last few weeks, deservedly so, and I have to give him credit again this week, although the way this goes wrong and the way Tyler wins this is if his Zay Flowers and Jalen Waddle way duds this week, and maybe his running backs don't do that great, and that's the way Tyler gets the upset. I don't think, though, it will really happen, so I'm going to take Pusa, but in a closer than you think matchup. Cheese, who's winning?
I'm taking my boy Tyler.
Tyler, wow. Okay.
Because I'm going to be a big hater on Zay Flowers and Waddle.
Okay.
Because Zay Flowers is banged up. Waddle is also banged up. And you just know that Tua wants to get that ball out to A-Chain and Tyreek Hill as his priority.
Okay, I can't wait till Pusa hears this part of the show when you're shitting on his team.
I think his chase is
He'll
good.
be going off like a little midget.
Pollard has been a good surprise for me this year. I think it'll be this good, but also Detroit defense is very solid. I think that Bucky Irving is also banged up, and there's like 3 running backs there, so I don't know what's going to go on.
He did fine last week, though. All right. Rat.
Oh, I did want to say JSN could be big if DK does not play.
Yeah, that could be a boost for Tyler. Like I said, he's getting a little fortunate with the trades and the injuries benefiting some of his players.
And Russ loves Pickens, so like he's getting some good momentum.
Yeah, he's got a lot of benefits to maybe get him on a roll, possibly. You know what? The more we talk, the more I want to pick Tyler, actually. But Rat, who's winning?
Look, last week I said it that the battle of the trash cans between Tyler and Slaps was just to stay out of last place, and that's what it is. Tyler is not winning this week. Pusa will win this week.
Okay, so back to
Tyler will put up a respectable amount. I say 100 to 110, but I just don't see him winning.
All right. Real quick question.
Wow, what about me?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Zach. I didn't know you were here still. Go ahead.
Jesus. No comment.
Okay, that was easy.
Okay.
Since obviously after what we just heard from Slaps for half an hour, obviously he's the worst team in last place, just done deal, book it. Who is the second worst team? Is it Tyler? Is it Matt? Or is it neither?
I don't know. There's been a lot. The Matt and Tyler have had some good developments lately.
Okay.
I still think Matt's team is worse than Tyler. If I'm gonna be real.
Okay.
I don't know. I like Matt's team because of Henry.
Okay.
Henry's a guy that
Tyler has Mixon though, who's been balling as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close.
Pretty even. They're pretty. Yeah, they're. But those are.
It makes you wonder how Slaps gets that horrible when everybody else, when even we're calling the 2 and 5 teams not that bad.
Or as Tyler's been saying, is Ernie's team at a downfall?
Oh, he has been saying that. If he loses to me this week, you might see some big changes.
I am not going to say any more about Ernie due to.
Jesus, you
threats.
pussy.
Yep. No, I'm.
You're a
Oh,
fucking
that's
pussy.
Tyler said it, bro. Shut up.
Pussy. All right, so there we have it for this week with the matchups. Good luck to everybody in that.